I see you now. Hey, welcome into Kidsway Studios. Hey, we are in a brand new month, and you know what that means. That means we're in a brand new series. The series that we're jumping into is called Ready to Launch. This series is going to be fantastic. We are deciding to boldly go and do what nobody has ever done, or maybe what nobody feels like doing. And hey, to be able to do that, you're going to need something. You're going to need some initiative. Maybe this is a word that you've heard before. Maybe it's a brand new word that you've never heard before. But either way, we are going to need initiative. And if you don't know what that word means, or maybe you're kind of questioning what that actually is, here's how I want you to think about it. Check it out. Initiative is seeing what needs to be done and doing it. Yeah, seeing what needs to be done and doing it. We just came out of a series last month that we were talking about wisdom. And wisdom was knowing the right thing to do and then doing it. And we're starting to kind of have a little bit of a theme. Like we can know something, we can see something, and just knowing what we should do isn't enough. We're starting to learn that it's actually up to us to do something. And initiative is no different. When you see something that needs to be done, just do it without anybody having to tell you. Say that little bro is having problems with his math homework, right? Offer your help before he asks for help, or before your parents ask you to help him. Go ahead and offer your help to help him out. Maybe you see some dishes on the kitchen table or on the kitchen counter that need to be washed, or that need to be put in the dishwasher. Before anybody tells you to do anything, why don't you go ahead and put those dishes where they belong? That is a little bit about what initiative can look like. And we're going to talk about a Bible story today about a guy in the Bible who had some amazing initiative. His name is Nehemiah. And in Nehemiah knew our big answer. Today, our big answer says this. Check it out. Don't wait for someone else to do what needs to be done. Can you guys say that with me? Here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Don't wait for someone else to do what needs to be done. Great job. Yeah, so don't wait for someone else to do a job that you know has to be done. We're going to see a beautiful example of what Nehemiah did. Because sometimes the things that need to be done aren't fun. Sometimes the things that need to be done can maybe even be a little scary. They can be hard even sometimes. But it doesn't mean that somebody shouldn't do them. We should be the ones to jump in and help out in those situations. And we'll see a story with Nehemiah about how he did that in an amazing way. But kids, wait, before we get into that story, I want you guys to stand up to your feet because we're getting ready to focus in on God, and the way that we do that is by singing and dancing and worshiping our Lord together. So go ahead and stand up out of your seat and let's get into this time of worship.
You're by my side, and I'm running, I'm breaking through the night, by the power of your might, the power of your might. You give me life everlasting. You make me new. Jesus Christ, never ending. All because of you, I am unstoppable. Whoa, I am unstoppable. Whoa. I'm tearing down these walls that hold me back. Can't stop me now, can't keep me down. Don't count me out, 'cause I'm running, breaking through the night, by the power of your might, the power of your might. You give me life everlasting. You make me new. I'm a child of God, standing strong on the solid rock. Yeah, I got power inside from the Most High, and I'm gonna light this world up, cause I'm on fire. Ignite, see me breaking chains in His name, unstoppable. No matter the obstacle, nothing is impossible. Never gonna quit, never gonna stop moving. Yeah, I'm gonna win, no way I'm losing. No way I'm losing, I'm unstoppable. You give me life everlasting, you make me new. Jesus Christ, never ending, all because of you. I am strong, I am brave, I'm not alone, I'm not afraid, because of you. I am unstoppable, I am unstoppable.
The Bible, it's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story. Inspired by the book of Nehemiah, chapters 1 and 2.
Over and over, the Israelites promised to be faithful to God. But over and over again, they turned away from Him. At last, God allowed enemy armies to take His people captive and carry them off to Babylon, nearly 1,000 miles away. After 70 years, God allowed some of His people to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. But back in Babylon, now part of Persia, the rest of the Jews had made lives for themselves. In fact, a Jew named Nehemiah had become quite important.
Greetings. I am cupbearer to the king.
A cupbearer was like a bodyguard who checked to make sure that no one poisoned the king's food or drink. Nehemiah was likely a trusted advisor.
Your Majesty, may I suggest the date pudding?
But though it was nearly 150 years since the Israelites had left Jerusalem, Nehemiah's heart was still in his homeland. When his brother Hanani returned from his trip to Judah, Nehemiah had a chance for some news.
Brother, how are the people left in Jerusalem?
Some are still alive, but they're having a hard time.
Oh no.
The wall of Jerusalem is broken down. The gates have been burned with fire. People are ashamed.
That's terrible.
A city without walls could never prosper. The people would always live in fear of being attacked.
I'm sorry to bring such bad news.
No, I'm glad you told me.
Dismayed, Nehemiah sat down and wept. He couldn't even eat for several days. Instead, he poured his heart out to God.
Lord, you are a great and wonderful God. See how your people are suffering. Please listen to me. I'm praying for the people of Israel. We Israelites have committed sins against you. We haven't obeyed the commands you gave to Moses.
Nehemiah reminded God of the promise He made to His people.
You said, if you people are not faithful, I will scatter you among the nations. But if you return to me, I will bring you back. Lord, please pay careful attention to my prayer. Give me success when I bring my request to King Artaxerxes.
For 4 whole months, Nehemiah prayed daily to God. He knew before taking action, he needed to listen and prepare. At last, he was ready.
Your Majesty.
Anyone who came before the king was supposed to appear happy. But for the first time, Nehemiah allowed his true feelings to show.
Oh, why are you looking so sad?
May you live forever? Why shouldn't I look sad? The city of my people has been destroyed, and fire has burned up its gates.
The king could have been annoyed and ordered Nehemiah to be punished. But God moved his heart.
Well, what do you want?
Nehemiah prayed silently for the right words.
Send me to Judah. Let me go to the city of Jerusalem. I want to rebuild it.
The king frowned and glanced over at the queen. At last he said,
How long will your journey take? When will you get back?
Precisely as many moons as are required.
Fair enough. Dismissed.
Nehemiah turned to leave, but he knew there was more he needed for the job.
If it pleases you, may I take some letters with me? I want to give them to the governors west of the Euphrates River. Then they'll help me to travel safely.
Done.
Oh, and a letter to the caretaker of the royal park? So he'll give me logs for the wall and gates and a house?
What next? A whole escort of army officers and horsemen?
That would be fantastic.
Fine. All of it. Get on with it.
God had given Nehemiah such favor with the king that he had everything he needed for his long journey to Judah. At last, Nehemiah had reached the city he dreamt of his entire life.
Jerusalem.
Though Nehemiah was overjoyed by the first glimpse of the city, it must have been difficult to see its crumbling, broken-down walls.
So much work to be done.
But Nehemiah didn't tell anyone his plan at first. On a bright moonlit night, Nehemiah snuck out with only a few others to see the full damage to the walls.
We have to know what we're up against.
Nehemiah traveled by donkey. With a few trusted friends, they left the city through the broken valley gate.
Let's head toward the Jackal Well.
At last, Nehemiah got a clear picture of the devastation. Jagged piles of rock lay everywhere. The gates were gone with scorched, gaping holes in their place.
It's such a big job. Only God can do this.
Nehemiah circled what was left of the wall, heading up the Kidron Valley and at last returning through the valley gate. The next morning, he called together the priests and nobles and officials.
You know, I've come to visit my people in Jerusalem, but that's not the only reason I'm here.
Nehemiah gestured to the jagged remains of the wall, visible from where they stood.
You can see the trouble we're in. Jerusalem has been destroyed. Fire has burned up its gates.
Tell us something new.
Come on. Let's rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. Then people won't be ashamed anymore.
Well, I mean, that's something to consider if you think about it.
Our grandparents tried that years ago.
But God has been helping me. He gave me favor with the king. He'll help us complete the work. So who's in?
Well, me. I'm in.
Me too.
Let's start rebuilding!
God moved the hearts of the people to help Nehemiah, and together they began the gigantic job of repairing the walls and gates of Jerusalem.
You stood before creation, eternity in your hand, and you spoke the earth into motion. My soul now to stand. You stood before my failure and carried the cross for my shame. My sin weighed upon your shoulders. My soul now to stand. So what could I say? What could I do? But offer this heart, oh God, completely to you. So I woke up on Saturday. What could I say? And what could I do? But offer this heart, oh God, completely to you.
Kidsway Studios, I don't know about you, but I want to be like Nehemiah. I want to know about something that needs help. I want to hear about someone who can use some help and jump in as fast as I can to help. God has given us, He's given you, He's given me the courage, the creativity, the resourcefulness, the knowledge, and the wisdom to be able to come in and help where help is needed. It just takes a little bit of initiative from us to be able to do those things. Remember, initiative is this. Check it out. Seeing what needs to be done and doing it. That's right, seeing what needs to be done. So it's up to us to kind of look for these situations too. Like for instance, if you're kind of hanging out, going throughout your normal routine, throughout your normal day, and all of a sudden something comes up and you're like, man, I hope somebody fixes that. Or man, somebody should really take care of that. Man, somebody should really take out this trash. Somebody should really clean up this mess. If those questions start to pop into your head, do it. Handle that problem. Go into that situation knowing that you are loved by God, and because you are, He has your back. He's equipped you to be able to jump in with initiative to whatever the situation is. Maybe it's something simple like taking out the trash, cleaning up a mess, but maybe it can be something like helping out a friend who has lost a loved one. Maybe it's up to us to kind of come into those situations and just offer a shoulder for somebody to lean on, just to let somebody know that, hey, you're not in this alone. I'm here for you. Maybe it's just up to us to step out with a little bit of boldness and take some initiative to help. Whatever the situation looks like, you can do it. God has your back, and He's equipped you to be absolutely amazing at whatever it is that you do. Kidsway Studios, I hope that you guys had a fantastic time today. Before I let you go, I have to let you know about one of my favorite verses that just so happens to be our verse for this entire month. It's in a book in the Bible called Colossians, chapter 3, verse 23. Look at your screen. Check this out. This is what it says. Work at everything you do with all of your heart. Work as if you were working for the Lord. Colossians 3:23. Let's read that one more time. Work at everything you do with all your heart. Work as if you were working for the Lord. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. Work as if you're working for the Lord. Don't worry about what everybody else is going to think or what everybody else is going to do or what they might say. Do it for God, for nobody else. If God is the only one that sees you doing it, that is all that matters. Work as if you're working for the Lord. Kidsway Studios, I hope that you guys had a great time. Remember, if you see something that needs to be done, don't wait for somebody else to do it. You can do it. You can fix that problem. You can help that situation. It just takes a little bit of initiative. I hope that you guys had a great time with us today. We cannot wait to see you, to hear from you. We just love spending this time here with you. And if you want this fun to keep going, make sure that you go to our website. The link is in the description below. You can copy paste it into your browser. It's bridgeway.tv. Go over to our kids page, and in that kids page, there's some downloads that you can have right there to do some activities at home, or parents, you can check out the CTC downloadable. That stands for Continue the Conversation, and you can continue the conversation from today, and it is an absolute blessing to be able to do those things. Hey, we love you guys. Be good, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.